Hi everyone, Beth here from Modernised Spirituality. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about empaths and what it means to be empathic. So a lot of people, they think that it just means that you can relate to someone's feelings, which empathy in itself, that does mean that. However, there is a difference between having empathy and being empathic. They are very similar, however, being empathic means that you genuinely feel the energy of others. So instead of you just being able to think, oh, if I was in that situation, I would feel really bad as well, and I can imagine what it would be like in that situation. Instead of thinking of it like that, it's more that you can actually, you actually do feel like you're in that situation. For myself, I know that I'm 100% empathic. I have only just realised this within the past month or so. I used to think that I was just really sensitive to other people's feelings, and I used to think that I had an addiction kind of psychoanalyzing people. I used to find myself kind of trying to tune in with people's emotions. Well, I thought that I was trying to tune in with them, but then I realised that it just happens naturally and I genuinely just can't help doing it. I did actually have a conversation with my therapist about this, about feeling other people's emotions. We kind of discussed that it was purely a reflection of myself and me wanting to have someone who cared for me like that type thing, but I don't think it is that. She used to say that it may be just because of the a cycle of victim, perpetrator, and sort of like a healer. And she's saying that if you have been a victim, then you tend to go around in that cycle because you're stuck in that sort of mental state. But it wasn't that I wanted to help everyone, so to speak. It was more that I just genuinely couldn't stop feeling everyone else's emotions, which made me obviously want to help them because I didn't want to feel sad myself. I felt like I had to take control of the situation, if that makes any sense. You can feel their thoughts as well, so you can kind of read what they're thinking. You can feel their emotions, you can feel their energy, and it does have quite a profound effect on you. So if you are not sure whether you're empathic or not, the main difference will be that you genuinely strongly feel these people's emotions rather than just being like, oh, I feel a bit sorry for them. It's like, oh my god, I need to help them because I can't stand feeling like this. You may be empathic if you've been called highly sensitive before. I know that I've been called sensitive a lot of times, and a lot of people have also said that I feel sorry for too many people, which I kind of can't help but feel for someone when I know that they're feeling a certain way because the emotion is projecting onto me as well. So obviously I'm going to feel for someone when I can feel how sad and lost they might feel themselves. So being empathic is actually the ability of clairsentience. That means that you can read people's energy really easily. So in terms of psychic services, you are able to read people, so you're able to read people's emotions, so it can help in that aspect. And there's also emotional mediums that work based on empathy, so you can kind of try and get into that side of things as well. I'm really trying to explore the mediumship side as well because that really interests me. It tends to be rather than on a spiritual level, which clairsentience tends to be in the more spiritual realm and the more spiritual dimension, but empathy is predominantly within the physical world, so it's physical individuals, it's physical people that you feel in their emotions rather than another sort of entity. So I'm going to go through a few different sort of signs of being empathic, just so you can kind of gauge whether you genuinely just have a lot of empathy for people or if you are actually empathic. So number one is that you carry the burdens of people, of people's problems a lot. So if you meet up with a friend, for example, and they say that they've lost their job and they're feeling really depressed and really down and all of this, and then you go your separate ways, you go home, they go home. With normal people, you may be thinking, oh, I hope they're feeling okay, but with someone who's empathic, you genuinely feel burdened by the problems, so you'll just keep worrying as if it's a problem of your own. You'll just keep worrying, it'll keep going around in your head. You feel like their problems are your own after communicating with them about it. So that's number one. Number two is that you get really strong vibes from people. So when you meet someone for the first time, you can really read their energy and you really get an idea of what kind of person they are before they even tell you much about themselves. So if you get really strong first impressions, then that's also another sign, because again you're able to read their energy and read their emotions really easily. Number three, so that is, you may be able to tell really easily if someone's lying. So purely just by their tone of voice, like their body language, the emotions that they're giving off, you find it really easy to know when someone's lying, even if they don't give you anything that would doubt that they're telling the truth in the first place. You tend to usually be right about these lies as well. You're able to feel who is authentic and who's lying, and you've got quite a good intuition on who to trust and who to be a little bit wary of. And then number four, so again, it's kind of the flip side of having sort of burdens from friends and things like that. So if you're discussing future plans with your friends, it might get you really excited as if, again, like it's your own plans. So if they're talking about a career move that they've got planned in the future, then you genuinely get like giddy inside because you're really excited for them, which is a really good side of it, rather than it just being sort of the sad, depressed side. It's good because you also benefit from their happiness, which is great, because who doesn't want to be happy for their friends? You may have been told that you're really good at sort of amping people up as well. So you're good at like motivating them, getting them excited for things, and just sort of pushing them in the right direction. So number five is that when you walk into an environment, when you walk into a room, you can really get a feel of the energy, like just the energy field in general. So if someone's been arguing, you can really easily identify that the energy is a little bit off and it's a little bit awkward. That's before anyone even says anything. You just sort of get the feeling that it's a little bit sort of uncomfortable. Which, like I say, a lot of these signs people really take for granted and they think it's just a normal way to be, but it's not normal. Well, it's not normal. But again, it's your intuition that you're getting. Like, you've got a really strong intuition if you're empathic, so you're just easily able to identify people's energies and people's emotions and what's actually going on without having any of the content in it. And then number six, so this is probably the most identifiable one for me, is that you're able to just know what people are thinking and feeling without them literally saying a single word. So you might just have a friend and they've never mentioned that they have anxiety, and they may not even provide any signs that they do have anxiety, but you can just tell, like you can just feel that there's something more going on. I've got a friend that portrayed himself as really confident, really outgoing, really sort of motivated, things like that. And that's how everyone saw him. Everyone thought that that's just the type of guy he was. I could just tell, like I could just feel that there was something that wasn't right. Like I just knew that it was like a mask. And he never ever mentioned anything to indicate that it was a mask. But you can just feel their energy, and like I don't know how to describe it other than you can feel their energy. You're just able to look past that and just see underneath the mask. I managed to sit down and have a conversation with him and just bring it up, and it turned out that I was right, basically. And deep down he felt the complete opposite as to how he portrayed himself to the external world. So it is good to have that trait, because it's good to be able to help friends that aren't confident enough to start that conversation, and it helps people to just get a lot off the chest. And especially if people are putting on this mask as well, then they're not going to have people that are going to be asking them if they're okay, and then they're not going to be able to express themselves. Their whole reason for portraying this image in the first place is to protect themselves. It's just a defense mechanism. Once you master it, it is a really good gift to have. You just have to learn how to control it, because it can get very, very overwhelming. It can sort of transform into anxiety and depression. If you think you're sad and you don't really know why you're sad, you've not really got a particular reason at that moment in time to be sad, then yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. Now, one of the ways to stop it overwhelming you is, well, there's two ways that I use. So the first way is to meditate and ground yourself that way. You don't even have to like sit in silence or sit with any meditation music in the background or anything like that. It doesn't need to be like a specific technique like that. It could just be in your daily life. For example, if you're daydreaming thinking that you've won the lottery, you're thinking about what you would spend all of that money on, but you're still going around and doing your daily things. Visualize it from white light from your heart. So start from your heart and then visualize it traveling down your body, going down your legs, and then when it gets to your feet, visualize it sort of planting you into the ground, so kind of rooting you down and weighing you down. It's called grounding. So like grounding your body into the ground. Once you can imagine that being grounded, then bring the light back up into your body and imagine it like going down your arms and stuff, and then going up to your head, and imagine sort of like white light coming from your head. So it's sort of like on either direction you've got like light coming out, so you've got light coming out the top of your head and then light coming out from your feet, and grounding you. And another technique, which again I also use, is getting a grounding stone. So I have red jasper. I'll go get it one sec. So this is the stone I use for grounding. It's just red jasper, and you can get them from quite a lot of places. Just anywhere that's just sells crystals, you'll be able to get it there. If I do feel really overwhelmed and I just kind of want like a quick release from all the emotions, then I'll just sort of like just have this in my hand and just sort of rub it like this. And it sounds weird because it's just a stone, but it really does help. Like when I'm sat there and I'm just sort of like, I'm kind of just like absorbing the stone in a way, just like absorbing the energy that's coming off the stone, if that makes sense. So it really does calm you down. I've had a lot of situations recently where I've been really overwhelmed, and then I just sit down and just try and relax and just sort of keep hold of this, and it does really help to calm you down. I mean, even right now, like, you can kind of hear my voice relaxing a little bit more. You can't just obviously pick up a stone and then be like, okay, yeah, this is healing me. You have to put intent into it. So when you purchase it, you have to make clear in your mind that this is going to be a stone used for grounding, so it needs to have that purpose. There are a few different other grounding stones. You don't have to get this exact one, but if you go into a shop, then they're always really helpful on what kind of stones that you need. So I just ask them, just tell them that you need grounding, and they'll be able to help you out. Those are the two techniques I would use. Honestly, once you identify that you are empathic, and then you start to use the techniques and you start to observe the emotions from like a different perspective. So you start to, when you get in these emotions, you can identify that they aren't your own emotions, and it makes your life a little bit easier, because you know, if you're in like a state of stress, or if you're feeling a bit depressed and things like that, you're able to identify that it's not actually your emotions, and it's a bit less confusing as well, because if obviously, like, if you're sad and you're not sure why you're sad, then it can obviously be a bit confusing. So yeah, they're my suggestions to do to help out with it. There's loads of other techniques that you can do to help to control it as well, but just have a look online. I have wrote an article as well about the signs of being empathic, so I'll put that in the description box below just in case I've missed anything. But yeah, if you do have any questions about it, then just put them in the comment section. I definitely am 100% empathic, so I've learned quite a lot on how to control it, and it's, like I say, it's really helped. So if you do need a little bit more help, then just let me know, and I'm more than happy to help. But yeah, hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Just to let you know as well, the background I'm working on at the moment, I'm probably not going to keep it like this. I'm just changing my room around at the moment, and also my camera's changed, so if it seems a bit different, that's why. But yeah, I'll get a better background once it's all been sorted out, and hopefully a better quality camera as well, but this will do for now. So yeah, right, I'll see you in the next one, and bye.